Is everybody in? Is everybody in? The show is about to begin.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Concerts That Made Us. I'm your host Brian, and before we get into this week's episode, the answer to last week's music trivia question was, of course, Bob Dylan. Now, for this week's music trivia question, which famous band started out as a backing band for Linda Ronstadt? And we've got another 5-star review. 5 stars. This is genius, love the concept and they do a great job. This was left by Wise County on iTunes. And don't forget, if you leave a 5-star review, it will be read out on the show. Now, for this week's episode, my guest is Rio from Made to Rise. Made to Rise are an absolutely amazing band. I can't wait for you to hear their music and hear this episode. So, without further ado, let's get on with the show. Rio, you're very welcome to Concerts That Made Us.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you having us here.
I'm delighted to have you. I'm delighted to have you. I just noticed actually for any of the people that can't see, you have a pretty cool hat on. It
Oh, absolutely, brother.
has a shamrock. You're obviously getting ready for Paddy's Day next week, are you?
I'm Irish to the core, man. Can you tell?
Brilliant, brilliant. You should be at home on the podcast. So
Yeah. We got the Fighting Irish here, college football team. I've been fans of them since I was like 5 years old. So there's green and gold and blue and gold all in the house. We're all Irish fans. And so it's nice to be talking to you in Ireland.
brilliant, brilliant. So we opened the show with your song "The End." Do you want to tell us a bit about it?
Yeah, I'm ready to make this, and just kind of loved Joey's voice. Joey has a nice man. He sounds like Michael Jackson, and doing Michael Jackson kind of sound in a rock style kind of threw me for a loop, but it worked. Reached out, contacted him, and said, "Hey, man, we're coming up with a concept of a song right now, and will you be willing to be featured on the track?" And he jumped at the chance, and we were happy that he took it up. And then after that, man, me and Joey from Varsity collaborated lyrically. He's got the pretty parts, and then I come in with the gravelly voice, and then I try to do a little bit in the background where I get kind of pretty myself. It hit some highs, and I think it just kind of melted in together. The mix was nice, and it's a hard hitting. It is what it is. It's going to make the world shake when you hear it. And there's a couple drops in there that if you got old Uncle Bob sitting around and he's got some hearing aids, you probably want to tell him to turn it down because he's gonna be scrambled before it's over with. It's gonna shake you.
Yeah, it is a great song, and I love the comparison to Michael Jackson. It's not something you hear every day in the hard rock world.
No, it was like I said, it threw me for a loop, and he's got this voice that just kind of works for him, and then he can get really gritty and really nasty when he needs to bring some strength and power. So I was like, you know what? I want to be able to do that, but I know that I really can't do it that well. So, when you know your limitations, it's easier to look outside the box for somebody that can lend a hand. So, we're happy to have Joey on the track and the boys from Varsity. We'll be jumping on a show with them in June. So, it's pretty exciting to be able to make a song with these guys, and then now we're going to play it together. So that's pretty awesome. But yeah, man, we're proud of it. I mean, it's everything that we wanted it to be. It turned out pretty well, and I mean, like I said, there's some drops in there that I'm still, even though we created, I'm like, I can't believe I listened to it as a fan, and I'm like, man, that's sick. So yeah, it's fucking banging.
Yeah. I suppose you're doing something right if you want to listen to your own music as a fan and you're amazed by it. How has the reaction to it been?
Oh man, when we play it live, like I said, when it comes in, I mean, you can see them rocking to the show, to the song. The crowd's loving it. And then when the drop hits, eyes open up. It's just an immediate like, holy shit, did that just happen? And then right when they, discover that what is feeling inside them it really happened to them, we hit them again with another drop right after it. So it's just a double punch in you. We just call it, a couple dick punches. Huh?
That's definitely a term I haven't heard before in regards to a song. And you guys released an album last year, "E.P.I.DEMIC."
Yeah.
What was it like releasing an album in the middle of the pandemic? It must have been kind of scary, was it?
Oh, it absolutely was for us, but it also gave us an opportunity to do it. Prior to us being rebranding ourselves as Made to Rise, we were a band called Madison Rising, which I came in late after the creation of that band, and that band got kind of pigeonholed because of what they wrote about prior to me coming in. And then once the pandemic hit, unfortunately, we lost a founding member to a heart attack. So when he passed away, it gave us an opportunity to reflect, do some like introspective looks, and we said, you know what, we want to keep doing this, but we kind of want to do it in a different manner. We want to come out and just we want to create some heavier stuff. We want to get a more modern sound, and so we brought in a guitarist that we had worked with before that was just he could hear something, and then as he's hearing it, the whole track creates in his head. And it's like, it's kind of amazing because he could hear all the parts already. And then when you add part, it's just that much better. So we brought in Tracy. Tracy started producing some stuff for us. And once it took off, we were like, you know what, this is an opportunity while we're sitting here to step back, create how we want to create, get as heavy as we want to, give them a little piece while we're going to start doing a full length, which we're in the process of doing now, where the end is going to fall on the full length that's tentatively named Anomaly. So when Anomaly hits, it's going to be a full length that we've been working on. And the pandemic gave us an opportunity to give everybody a taste of us as the new name, the new brand, the new type of bands. So it's like we've been cooking in the kitchen for a decade now, and now we decided we're gonna make some soul food. So we're gonna get heavy with it, bring out some hot sauce, and burn some lips, because we want to melt faces with what we're creating now. We've done some power ballads and we've done all that good stuff, and now we're just going heavy, and we're just gonna have a good time with it. So the pandemic kind of helped us out, and now now we've just been creating so much stuff that we're ready to put out that second sophomore album that we feel like is going to be better than the first album was.
That must have been a very challenging time and a very difficult choice to rebrand, and start doing something a bit heavier, as you said. Were you scared that, for an established band that has fans already, moving them fans over to the new sound, or were you scared you might lose or alienate some fans?
We felt like we were going to lose some. Yeah. And we were, we sat down as a group. We've known each other for years now. And fortunately, as you can see right here, there's some age to us. We're kind of long in the tooth. So we've all got families, and we all sat down and we said, hey, what's our next step? Do we go our separate ways and create music on our own, or what do we do? And as we sat down and really kind of spoke over the table, we decided that we're going to rebrand. We're going to keep something kind of a familiar name. So we kind of pay respects to our lost member. Then we said, how do we want to continue? And in that, we were like, I'm a music fan. I'm a hard rock fan. I'm that new, I love the old bands like Slayer, Megadeth, and all that. But I'm a new kind of guy band. I like Bring Me the Horizon, I Prevail, Bad Omens. I like that gritty, that whole, I love that genre. So when we sat down and talked about it, I said, man, let's go in that direction. Let's really bring some heavy. Let's open the pit up and do some stuff that we haven't done before, or we've touched a little bit of. And then I said, let's make that primarily what we want to do, because everybody kind of likes to get, an elbow here and there to the face, when you get out there. So we're like, let's do that. And they all kind of agreed, and we all smiled and laughed and said, you know what, these old bones we got a little bit more time before, we all geriatrics. So we said, let's show these young cats that these old long tooth dudes can do it too. There's a reason why we got old and we got beards, because we can last them. And we knew that we were going to lose some fans for it, but we know we also know that we're going to gain some. So, with what we got on the horizon now, we know we're going to pick up fans. So if a casual fan can't handle the transition that bands have to do in order to grow, we hate to lose you, but we also would like you to come on this journey with us. But if you decide, it's not going to be us deciding. If you decide to step off this journey away from us, then we'll be glad to reach out and pull somebody else on the path.
Yeah. I guess you'd want to be pretty hardcore now to walk away from a band, your favorite band, when they change direction. I imagine like 99% of fans would stick with you.
Yeah, so far the ones that have gravitated away from us, I don't think that we've lost that many. I really don't. We still interact with the people that we've constantly interacted over the years with, and so we don't really see that we've lost band any of the fans really, but we're more excited. Not We're excited for the fans that we have now because they stay with us, they root us on, and they provide us the ability to keep doing this, and they are enjoying the music that we bring. And then we're excited about the new fans that we haven't touched yet. They haven't seen us, and then when we get in front of their faces, they're watching them kind of with that, who the fuck are these guys? Look, and about halfway through the set, they're like, fuck, who are these dudes? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. And I've heard that you guys have the most loyal fan base for any band out there. As a band, how do you go about building such a loyal fan base?
I think it's the meaning behind some of the lyrics. We've wrote for people that feel like they're not been heard. And they've kind of latched on to that. And we interact with the fans. I mean, if somebody's you watch the Zoom interview and you want to reach out to me, all you got to do, it's easy to find me. I'm on every social media, and all you got to do is just send that message. That's what I do. If I don't interact with you, then I don't pay someone else, a publicist or an AR guy or a social media person to make all the conversations for me. So it's like, I want to reach out to you. If you reach out to me and we talk, then you're talking directly to me. And I think the fans, they appreciate that. And over the years, the word of how interactive are they, how accessible are they, and I think that's kind of built them as becoming fans and friends, and they feel it. They feel like we care about them, and we sing about them. So with that, I think that makes it kind of easy for them to be loyal to us.
Yeah, yeah. You guys, you touched on a couple of things there. Apart from being accessible, you seem real and genuine. You're one of them bands that, as you said, you're accessible, easy to get in touch with, but overall you're real, you're genuine. There's no bullshit. There's no, it's like you guys genuinely care about your fans. You're not in it just for the fame or the money,
Yeah. There's a saying, the saying is there's no money in rock music. And you know what? You're damn straight. The fact is, we're as blue collar as you are. We're as blue collar as a guy that's a welder, in the shipyard. And we're not going to go anywhere where we're big time and people like, oh, look at us, we're rock stars. We're behind the gate. Look at us. We don't do that. We don't hide from you. We don't try to make it a persona that we're like some kind of mystic creature. That we're a unicorn that doesn't. Well, for you guys, we're like the leprechaun that people are looking for. You know what I mean? We don't play that. We know our value, but we also know where we stand, and we know that we have to make sure that people don't see us as something that we're not, because when you build yourself up that way, it's easier to knock you down. So what you see out of me is what you're gonna get, man. If I'm backstage having a beer and I see you up there and you're like, hey, throwing a sign up and whatever, I'm coming over there. We're talking and hell, we might all be having a beer backstage. It's that kind of thing. I feel like if you pretend and you put a persona on that's not you, it's easy to find that, it's easy to look behind that mask. It's easy to see it. And then you're like, man, they aren't who we thought we were. And then that's when people start turning their back on you. And that's something that I don't want to ever fall trap to is to be put on a pedestal and then, or allow myself to climb up on that pedestal and then have an easier target to pull me down. It's like, I like to drink. I like to drink. I like to look at tits. I like to play music. And that's me. That's what you're going to get. That's what I'm going to be doing all the time. That's what we do as a band. We just have a good time. And what you see is what you get, man. We're as real as it comes.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Glad to hear it. So moving on, back in 2019, you guys won a very special award. Can you tell us a bit about it?
Yeah, we won an award called I can't even remember exactly the name of the award, but it was a Josie Music Award. It's an independent music award here in the United States. It's one of the largest independent music awards. We won it for our contribution to the patriotic community. And in that, Madison Rising, prior to, did a remake of the national anthem of our Star Spangled Banner. That's a heavy rock version. And if you're a military individual like myself, I retired from the Air Force, Master Sergeant United States Air Force ammo for 20 years. And then I knew of Madison Rising through their rendition of the Star Spangled Banner. In that process, we had worked with a lot of like military groups, people who support the military, and then the like the anti-suicide, the 22 awareness kind of guys, those individuals that are trying to help vets. So we've played a lot of shows for them specifically. We've written some songs off of their experiences. I've written some songs off of my experiences that these guys can attribute or they can latch onto because they've been in the same kind of areas. They've been in the same battles, you know, where I've been. So it kind of makes it that connection. And then we were nominated. I don't know how we got nominated, but that was really cool. And then we were told that we won the award. And so that means a lot to us because of the community that we support. But now, you know, unfortunately, we don't want to be pigeonholed that like that's the only people that we speak for. It's like our words, usually you write from your own experiences or things around you. So, you know, that's where when I write lyrics, that's, you know, I go into what my experiences are, but I try to write them in an anomalous way to where you can apply those. You know, there's a song that we did called "1,000 Miles" that sounds like it's a power ballad song. It sounds like a love song, and it is a love song, really. But it's not about a couple or someone missing his lady or vice versa. It's about missing the whole environment of the theater of war. You know, when you go over and you come back home, you're not exactly home. You're always missing what's going on over there. It's like you love her. And so we wrote it that way, but the casual listener can actually listen to it. And it's about doing whatever they can to get back to the love of their life. So that's how we kind of write it. And this way we can branch out to everybody and say, look, because we write things a lot of times out of our experience, which means this, we also will write it for you in a way that we understand, you know, and give you an opportunity to just enjoy the music.
Yeah. Geez, that's something I haven't heard of, or that's something I haven't thought of before, is that you could actually miss the theater of war, you know, because over here we have an army, but it's not a very big army. We're a neutral country. We wouldn't have the same exposure to wars and battles and armies even that you guys over there would. So it's just going on the media, films, TV shows, but we're always kind of exposed to a reality that soldiers hate war. War is an awful, awful place. So to hear that you would actually miss being in the theater of war, it's a weird thought, really, you know, from somewhere for someone over here.
It's a weird thought for us over here. You know, I mean, you don't want to, you know, it's something that unfortunately, when you go over there, you kind of get used to the adrenaline. You kind of get used to that rush, and it's, you know, the anger, the fear all comes from the same, you know, cortex in the brain as love does. And the same kind of chemicals are released. So you actually kind of fall in love with it a little bit. And then when you're out of it, you miss it so much that it hurts. It's like losing, like I said, it's like a breakup. It's like a marriage. It's like losing your girlfriend. You know, the love of your life is out of it. And then you just kind of want to go back, and you get that, the relief of the feeling again. You know, there's lines in it where it's, you know, I miss the feeling of the hot breath on my face, which is just the hot wind of the desert, you know, and that's what you kind of remember that. So, you know, unfortunately, you know, the United States is a warring country that kind of seems like we're in everybody's business, and which, you know, I don't necessarily agree with, you know. So sometimes I wish we would be as neutral as some other countries and as you guys are, because I mean I think that we need to mind our own business. But that's another subject to talk about. But yeah, so we've come out through the pandemic with the album Epidemic to be able to show people that we're a kick-ass rock band and we're coming out heavy, and we're gonna do all we can to stomp a mud hole on stage, open up the pit, and these old bones are going in that pit once.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And you guys have toured with some massive names in the rock community. What can people expect when they come to see one of your shows?
We can expect that you may not have heard the name Made to Rise, but when you walk out of that, you will absolutely remember Made to Rise. We are going to come on stage and we're going to, we're going to be placed with some of the bigger names, and then you're gonna say, who are these dudes? And then by the time we leave, you guys leave, you will be saying, man, they should open up for you. And that's not me just being overly confident. It's me saying, if a band that we play with on any level does not bring it, if they don't bring a show, if they don't bring the energy, then we are going to upstage them. And so we hope that we play on bills that we can't compete with them, because then we know that it's going to be one hell of a show.
Brilliant, brilliant. That's one of the best attitudes to have going into it, I think. And I normally like to touch on some of my guests' concert experiences in the past. So I'd love to hear some of yours. Can you remember the very first concert you played with the band?
The very first concert that I played with the band, man, where was it? I do remember the very first. Yeah. We were playing for a gentleman who had lost his legs in the war. So I jumped onto Madison Rising. We were playing for an event to support him and all. And man, I tell you what, it was exciting. It was fun. It was loud, and I could remember this much of it just because of the nerves. I mean, it was just like, here we go, let's do this. Yeah. And then as far as Made to Rise, man, our first show wasn't long ago, which was great. It wasn't long ago, and we got on a bill. We knew a promoter, and we said, hey, man, we're ready to come out of this pandemic. Everything's kind of opening up a little bit, and let's get us a show, and you're going to see what we got. So he had known me for a while. I've been in some other bands, and he had enjoyed the fact that what we brought. And then when we hit the stage, it was like the best sex that you haven't had in a while, and it's just amazing, and so we played here in Baltimore. We had friends out there. We had people that, the new crowd that we'd never seen and haven't heard us. They were here for some other people. And then we just kind of owned, and I hate saying it because I'm confident in what we got, but I'm very confident in how we are. We're really good. We're a really good fucking band. So we just kind of took over the joint, and it was exciting. It was a lot of fun. And it just happens every time we go somewhere now. So yeah, that first one was at a little spot called Zen West, where we got really intimate and just blew it out.
Yeah. I feel like if I went to see you guys, or if anyone went to see you guys supporting someone else, once you finish your set and the other band comes on, I feel like anyone would be like, no, like, can we have the other guys again? Come on, stay longer.
Look, I hope that's the reaction. I feel like that's the reaction sometimes. But for us, man, I tell you, when we get on a show with dudes, we are just as much of a fan the rest of the night as we are a band that night. We're going to be out in the crowd, and if you bring it heavy, I'm out there, hurting my knees, trying to get in a mosh pit. I'm jumping up, I'm sweating. I'm working just as hard out in the crowd as I was on stage. And that's how our guys are. We feel like if we don't support you, you will never support us. And being, unfortunately, sometimes the music industry is they get upset with other people. They don't want to see other people as successful as they are. And for us, fortunately for all of us, man, we've had our time in a very successful band. We've made a pretty good living through it. We're all established dudes. Like I said, we're all gray in the beard too. So I mean, we have what we want. So it isn't about the money for us. It isn't about the fame per se. It's about being able to play and just have a great time with people. That's all it is. I want my last breath to be like, we kicked ass to this thing, and that's it. I want to be able to make memories, and then I got my kids who are teenagers. I got one that's 20, and I want them to be like, damn, my dad kicks ass on stage. And you know what? I feel like we're on it. So yeah.
Yeah. And what would you say has been your best concert experience overall?
Best concert experience. I would say we played up at the Mohegan Sun in Connecticut, and we had the opportunity to open up for Godsmack.
Oh man!
And for me, years ago, I did a lot of R&B stuff, and that's where I kind of the realm of where I like to play it, and then I started listening to really getting into wanting to be a vocal dude for the rock side. And I took some pieces of different artists, LaJohn Witherspoon of Seven Dust. Of course, everybody's going to take a little bit piece of Chester and Chris Cornell. So I was like, these guys, man, they're just powerful. They're, Chester's a little skinny dude. And it's like, how is he so powerful in his chest? And that's how I felt about Sully Erna. So Sully was like this monster god, he's got this powerful voice. He's intimidating. And so when we had the opportunity to play with him, it was like a dream come true as a fan of music.
Yeah.
So being able to go up there and open up for those dudes, and then after the show, them come to us and say, man, you guys really kicked ass out there. Like, we're really impressed by you guys. So that kind of felt really good. So that would probably be my best, my favorite concert experience so far.
Geez, I don't know how I'd take hearing that from someone you look up to so much and someone you've idolized. I suppose it must be pretty like a real pinch me moment.
It was pretty awesome. We had Neil Schon was backstage, and he was like, man, you guys really killed it. So you get some of these like affirmations from these huge names, and it's like, wow, so maybe we are doing something all right,
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. And now I'm going to tell you, you'll be the first one to hear it. We are in the process. Years ago, man, there was a band out of Vegas, LA area that came out that I just latched onto. I was like, man, I freaking love these dudes. And they're called Gemini Syndrome. So I'm sure you guys have heard of them. So I'm like, man, I love these dudes. Got drunk with them a couple times, all the stuff. Did everything that everybody does. You hang out with them. Never had the opportunity to play with them yet. And right now, we just got word over the weekend that we'll be doing a few shows with those cats. So, again, it's like vocalists that I wish I could sound as good as. And Aaron is just this monster. And I was like, wow, what? One of these days, I'm going to be on stage. We're going to be doing something. I can't wait till that opportunity hits. And lo and behold, boom! This weekend, it hit, and now we're in the works with making an agreement with those guys for May. We'll jump on for a little while with Gemini, do a few shows with those cats, and it's just gonna, it's next time I talk to you, that's gonna be my favorite experience.
It doesn't get much better than that. I'd say that's actually going to be like the perfect concert, from your perspective, from the fans' perspective. I'd say you couldn't top it.
Yeah, I tell you what, we're gonna that lineup. It's gonna bring some little heart palpitations. It might melt your face a little bit. You might lose a couple teeth, but it's all about the memories. That's what it is. Put them in your pocket.
Exactly. And not to get negative, but we'll flip it around. What is the worst concert experience you've had, if there is one?
Oh, there's some. The worst concert experience that we had, and I won't say the name of the guy that was working with us at the time, but he had set up a tour, and we had the opportunity to play out with. Well, we were going with Ted Nugent, right?
Okay.
So we were going to go do some things with Ted Nugent. We were do a short run with him. Our guy was handling all the stuff. We show up. Next thing you know is the tour manager for Ted is ripping us apart because apparently we got the wrong information. We weren't supposed to be at a certain time. We show up early, which was the time that we were given, and I mean they were like ready to kick us off the tour before we even got on the tour.
Oh man.
And so when you're apologizing for something that you have nothing to do with, as far as like I had no idea, you got a band of guys that all we're excited. We've driven across the country to meet up where the tour starts, and then when you get there, you're just berated like children, And then you got this is a rock idol, These guys they're at the level where they're they're untouchable and they're just icons, and then you have his tour manager just talking down to you like you're like 4 years old, and I'm like, oh, I don't even know how should I respond, because anybody else I feel like I'd want to punch in your mouth, but what's going on right now? So that was probably the worst concert experience, but by a couple of days into it, the tour manager came over and kind of apologized in his way. Like he was a Eastern European bloc dude. I mean, had that great accent and hardcore. So he apologized kind of, and he was like, you guys are really easy to work with. What we got off the bat from the person that was the contact, he hated him right off the bat. And then he started telling us why. So we were like, we're the band, man. We don't handle the administrative stuff. We're too busy.
Yeah.
That's probably the worst.
Jeez. That definitely takes the cake for one of the worst I've heard anyway. But it had a good outcome, I suppose.
Yeah.
So what would you say is the craziest experience overall from performing, from making music since your career started?
Man, what have I got to do, man? I got to perform we played at Madison Square Garden, and these we're basically we're not household names, And then you go around, you see all these celebrities, and they're like giving you dap like they know who you are, because you just played and they're at the place, and it's like, first off, why are you here to see us? Secondly, is that's everything's free out here. This is great. So craziest thing is you're down there hanging out with all these movie stars and athletes, and they're acting like they want to be you, and you're like, dude, first off, I've seen you in a bunch of movies, and I've seen you naked, and that's great. Also, can I get some ice cream right there? So yeah, that was pretty cool. That's probably the craziest thing, and probably the best thing is I've got on Project 12. You'll hear a little voice in it, right? And that voice is my daughter. So she actually sings the intro part, and then she does some like ethereal kind of vocaling in the backside of it. That to me was just amazing. So that's probably as in this rock world moment of my chapter, I guess, of life. It's like that's probably like one of my proudest. So I can't wait for you guys to hear it when we take it on the road. I can't wait for you guys to play it when you listen to the Zoom. This interview, you'll hear it. It's going to be pretty awesome.
Brilliant. I've got 2 daughters myself, so I totally understand that feeling. It must have been, I'd say it probably brought a tear to your eye almost.
Oh my God. She's on that one. And then she's on another one, a nice little ballad called Faith Over Fear. And that is also going to be on Anomaly. Faith Over Fear is, man, I grew up in the South of the United States in a state called Alabama.
Oh.
and and down there, when you got something that's like that powerful voice, that's something that's incredible. We call it the come to Jesus moment. About so when you're listening to that song, man, it's going to take you to church. I mean, she brings it like that, and
Mm.
and both of those songs, like you said, it did. Like I'm listening to it, and I I have the ability because of what Tracy and the rest of the guys, Tracy and Adam and Ted, can do musically. Like I can listen to it as a fan. Like
Mm.
I can't believe that it's me singing and that it's us, but we listen to it as a fan. And when I listen to the music and my daughter Venice is on it, I mean it's just like I'm in the truck, I'm driving, I'm like crying, having that come to Jesus moment. I'm like, man, I can't believe it. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm absolutely proud as hell of her, and I hope that she just carries a torch when Dad hangs up his mic. Hope she picks it up.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to ask, would you be fully supportive of her going into the music industry?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. But you got to, as a female, I mean, the music industry is dirty as a guy side. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But as a female, I couldn't imagine how it is. So as bad as it is. I mean, everybody, like anybody who wants to take a picture with you wants to get close. So I told her, I said, it's something that you have to understand that your boundaries are going to be pushed a little bit.
Mm.
And it's not because they're trying to do anything. It's because they're getting close to you. I was like, but then there's also the slime bags out there that do. So I said, you're gonna have to learn a lot. And so I hope that if she decides to, when I'm still on the road and we can do it together and show her that kind of show her the ropes and show her what to look for, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd support her absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure she'll be fine with a father like you looking out for her.
I hope so. And we got some really good friends too. So the friends in the industry. So I would be very, very okay with her going out with other bands and
Mm.
enjoying the shows and being able to be a part of them. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. And before we move on to the last couple of questions, I know we've heard some of your plans for the summer, but what are the long-term future plans and goals for the band?
Well, we're going to be releasing Anomaly. We're looking for a mid-May to late May release for our full length. And then after that, man, we're just going to keep creating. We'll just jump on some tours here and there. And then that's about it. We just want to keep on rocking. We want to keep on getting in people's faces and see what happens. We ain't going nowhere. That's for sure.
Brilliant. Brilliant. So the last couple of questions, everybody gets asked these, I'm afraid. So
All right, bring it.
if there was an artist or performer from history that you could see in concert for one night only, who would it be?
Prince.
Really?
Absolutely.
I don't blame you. I like that there was no hesitation. You didn't even have to think about it.
Oh man, he was amazing. I mean, just an incredible artist. And if I could see one of them, if I could see him do that, that's it. I would sit and just watch him. It'd be
Yeah,
great.
yeah. I love that. Something we don't actually hear about Prince too much is his sense of humor. I've been seeing a lot of memes on Facebook lately of people asking what it was like at a Prince concert. And there was one I seen a couple of weeks ago. Apparently he walked out onto the stage, played 2 songs and said, right, thanks, concert is over. Walked off. Everywhere went into darkness. After about 5 minutes, he walked back out and he goes, April Fools, got you guys. Now come on. Like, could you
imagine how pissed off you would be if you?
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
You guys should do it some April Fools for the crack just to see how it goes down.
Then you'd be asking, how was it? How would it feel like when you lost all of your fans? We were like, yeah, it was great. It's a great joke though.
Yeah, you might be right. Maybe Prince is the only one that can get away with that.
Yeah.
Oh, and if there was an artist or performer from history that you had to spend 24 hours locked in a room with, who would it be?
Locked in a room with.
Mm.
An artist locked in the room with. Man, now there's a hesitation. An artist that I could be locked in the room with, just chilling. You know what? I would probably say I'm going to go with a younger dude from or more prominent guy right now, I guess,
Okay.
because I want to see what those cats do and how do they create at that level. I would say Noah from Bad Omens.
Ah.
I like to see the dude just transformed himself. I mean, his music's transforming. It's just growing exponentially with every album. And I would love to see like where's his brain at, because the Bad Omens lyrics are so deep, and there's like all these references to good and evil in it. And I want to see like where does he come from? Where are you coming from with that?
Yeah. I have to say I like the way your mind works. Every other answer I've got from every other guest has been, Paul McCartney, Elvis Presley, Jimi Hendrix. But you approach it from the younger guys coming up. You want to see what they're doing. That's not something I've heard before. It's very interesting.
Yeah, they just to see what those guys can bring and how they're writing their music, because even the lyrical content of years ago is changing and has changed over time to now, and how they're reaching the ability to get so deep into some of these things and take the way that they present the words. It's just to me, I love how they do it, and I wish I could do it. I'm trying to learn how to do it, but it's so powerful to me.
Yeah. And if there was a song that could appear on the soundtrack to your life, what would it be?
I think it would be it would be I think it would be Prince's "Sometimes It Snows in April."
Right. Why that one?
Because I love meeting people, and the more interesting you are, the more I want to be around you. Like the more I want to hear your story, and I love hearing the stories of people. Like people come up to us, and it's like they want to. They ask you questions. They ask me questions, and they want to know me. But it's like, if you want to know me, listen to our music, and that's going to tell you who I am. But I want to know your story. Like what brought you to our music, that kind of stuff. So I think with that song, "Sometimes It Snows in April," it talks about, he has a line in it where it's, those kinds of cars don't pass you every day. So it's kind of like a unique individual. And he's talking about, in a song, a guy named Tracy, and that's his friend, and he's a special kind of dude. And he does it, and that makes it like the uniqueness of it. So to me, I think that song would be it, just because I like to hear people's stories, whether it's how they met their love of their life, or what brought you to the feeling and emotion that you are right now, standing in front of us with a tear in your eye. That kind of stuff. I think knowing stuff like that allows you to be a better human, more compassionate human. And for me, I've tried to be better myself, and I've tried to surround us, the band as well, with better people than we are. And then hopefully some of that rubs up on us.
It's that's something I actually really admire. It's great values to have.
Thank you.
And the final one, is there something I should have asked you, but I didn't?
Nah, man. I think if you have the questions, you asked what you wanted. You got what you wanted, and I hope that I gave you the answers that you were looking for, or hoping at least something in depth to ponder later on, man. I appreciate you guys giving us the opportunity.
Hide your dishonesty. the people, for them to never ask why. Say it over and over again and build your truth from lies. Yet you're standing there, acting as if you care, preaching bullshit from your pulpit. Your system's broken, you're rotting there. It's all fucked up. Seriously, I can't get through this blog. I believe it just me. Split tongues or revolt like a natural life. When I blow it all up, last one standing is me. Last one standing is me. Take a look around, and it's me. Just give me something to believe. It's just me. It's just me. La 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 la, butterfly. I see in your eyes. Distractions by fires, no wires and all lies. Systematic teachings, one size fits all. The problem's never ceasing, the acting curtain call. Yet you're standing there, acting as if you care, preaching bullshit from your pulpit. Your system's broken, you're rotting there. Yeah, you're standing there, acting as if you care, preaching bullshit from your pulpit. Your system's broken.
Do you love music? Music news and guest interviews with artists from all around the world across many different genres? My name's Nolan and I love music. In fact, I love music so much I created a podcast entirely dedicated to it called Every Podcast I Love Is Dead. Every week is a brand new episode where I interview musicians, artists, podcasters, radio hosts, and so much more. New episodes are available every Thursday on all your favorite podcast streaming platforms, and you can check us out on social media and at everypodcastiloveisdead.com. Hope you can join me.
Hey guys, I really hope you enjoyed this episode. I for one surely did. Now, if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to rate and review us on iTunes. Your 5-star review will be read out on the show. And don't forget, you can now rate us on Spotify. You can find and follow us on all social media at Concerts That Made Us Podcast. And don't forget to check out the website at www.concertsthatmadeus.com. And if you'd like to support the show, you can do so by signing up at patreon.com/Concerts That Made Us. So, until next time, keep rocking.
Hey, what are you guys still doing here? The show's over. It's over. You can go home. Go on. We'll see you next time. We'll be here.